Hello and welcome to Pushing Cardboard for another unboxing. This time the latest in the Panzer series from GMT, James Day's Panzer series. This is Panzer North Africa. I haven't played anything in this series. I mean, going back to Quinto games, I messed around with 88 a bit, and I think maybe this series developed out of that. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the big series on armored warfare in World War II. This is maybe, I don't know, the 5th expansion or the 6th expansion, something like that. So I'm coming to it rather late, but I'm always a big fan of Western Desert stuff, and so I thought I'd give it a shot. It's a it's a super heavy box. It's a big the GMT's fattest box size. They rated a 6 for complexity and a 9 for solitaire suitability. So I guess there's no hidden things or anything like that here. Anyway, let's dive right in and find out what's making this box so heavy, because it is definitely one big heavy box of war game here. Okay, here we go. Well, that's interesting. Right off the bat, I notice we have some maps on at the top of the box here, and they are not mounted. I thought the big weight in this box was going to be mounted maps, but obviously not. Double-sided maps. I suppose, given there's no, I guess there's a bit of roads running off and whatnot here. I'll zoom you in so you can get a sort of a closer look at. There's not a lot to see on these maps, given that it's the desert. Let's see, there's one. I'm just going to give you a kind of a close-in look on a few of these. Here's an oasis, I guess. 2 maps. 3 maps. Not much going on this one. Oh, a little bit more on this side. Small village. Fourth map. This just has a long highway going down the middle of it. Oh. Hills on the other side again, though, on this one. That's 4 or 5. This is the 5th one. Another wide open map. Guess let's just see if you can see the. You see, there's not much to see there. Just big wide open spaces. More roads. Yeah, that was, and this is, I guess, the 6th map. Yeah, you don't expect really exciting things in North Africa maps, but there we go. There's the yeah, six maps. Okay. TO&E manual. So this is a table of organization and equipment. I think maybe TO&E stands for. I can't remember. But that's, yeah, it looks like it's tells you how brigades and squadrons and whatnot, regiments are set up here. So basically this looks just like a little booklet to show you how units, the makeup of units. I suppose that'd be pretty handy if you're going to create your own scenarios. Here's a book just of optional rules. It's 24 pages of optional rules. You know, these rule books so far, you know, classic GMT style with dual column, matte paper, lots of illustrations and examples. Just zoom in quick here if you haven't had a good look at a GMT rule book. This is pretty standard stuff. So yeah, this is like 24 pages of optional rules, and I imagine you can kind of pick and choose as you go. But wow, that's an interest. I've never seen that a book just for optional rules. That's quite great. Here's a playbook. So this is I don't know if this will have scenarios, but it should have examples of play. Oh yeah, it has scenarios and examples of play. It's 32 included scenarios. Looks like there's information on designing your own scenarios. Solitaire rules. Unit summary charts. I guess this is just a sort of lets you know all the pieces in the game. We've got German units and British units. I wonder if we have any Italian or yeah, there's some Italian units as well. So we've got British, Italian, and German, and then designer notes in here. So third rule book so far, and oh, scenario book 1. Wow, this is thick. There's more than 32 scenarios. I don't know why I said that. I read something that said 32 scenarios, but this book, well, maybe it's because it starts at 47. Yeah, that's probably it. These scenarios, so a whole page of info, and then a page of the German forces, a page of the British forces, and then the next one. So yeah, it takes 2 to 4 pages for each scenario. I really like this. This is a good looking scenario book. These layouts of the counters of what you need for any scenario, it's so much nicer to have it in some sort of a picture form like this, or a layout form like this, instead of those just little lines of saying this hex this hex that. This is a much nicer way to go. I really appreciate that. So that's scenario book 1. And here's scenario book 2 with scenarios 62 to 78. So it's another 16 scenarios, I guess. Wow, this is a beefy looking set of scenarios. I don't know what to tell you. I think it just looks great. Wow, it makes it really inviting, that's for sure. Okay, so what do we got here? That's 5 books so far, and we finally get to the rule book with the basic and advanced rules. We saw earlier that there's a different book for the optional rules. I should mention this version, this expansion of Panzer is James Day and Fernando Solo Ramos. So he's got somebody working with him on this one. This rule book is 68 pages long. Looks like it's got a really good looking comprehensive index, which is great, and a glossary at the back. That's good. Basic game table of contents and advanced game table of contents, and yeah, that's so the basic game, the rules, it's just 21 pages for the basic game, and then a bunch more for the advanced game. And I've always heard that about this series, that you can learn the basic game first and play it quite a bit until you move up to the advanced game. Another great looking rule book. Now, there's GMT really makes good looking rule books. They're on matte paper, so if you need to make a few notations or something, everything looks good. Easy to write on, easy to read, no glare. Lots of explanation boxes. Those highlighted boxes are usually little either examples or references. Lots of that. So there we go. There's the sixth book. Okay, overlays. So this is how you transform. The maps can be transformed. You punch out these. Well, I'll just punch one out right now. Much like ASL does a sort of similar thing, and then you just stick it on there with a little bit of two-sided or removable putty or what have you, and there you've got a feature where there hadn't been a feature before. So one sheet of overlays. Here's another sheet with a few more. Sort of a walled compound here and a little village here. A sheet of gullies, it looks like. A sheet of hills. A sheet of, well, this is some kind of rough terrain, and these are hills, probably. More overlays. 6 overlay sheets. These look like hills again. And then we get to the start of the counters. Here we have Italian units. Might as well zoom in and have a good look at some of these. Got some M1340s, pretty classic. M1139s. Probably see some Semivantes around here somewhere if I look closely enough. Here's some Italian leaders, it looks like. Here's the back sides of these counters. Well, that's interesting. Here's some Avante. So these are two-sided counters, but they're not. It's not like the backside is completely different from the front side. If we look here on this side, it's an L640, and on this side, it's an M1340. So, yeah, for this, it's an M1340. We go to the backside, and it's an infantry gun. So, I guess that's the way they get even more counters. If you don't need a double-sided counter, away you go. Here's some British counters. We got some Grants, some Stuarts, some Crusaders, some good old Matildas, and some leaders. On the back side, some A10s, A9s. Humber and Morris scout cards. Now the Germans. Little Panzer 1Bs, 2Cs, but the meat of it should be these 3Hs, 3Fs, 3Gs. There are some 4Ds and 4Es here, but I don't know how much action they saw in the desert. I guess some. They wouldn't be here. 4Js, definitely, or sorry, 3Js, definitely lots of 3Js in the desert. Half tracks. And some small anti-tank guns, 37mm Pak 36. I'm sure we're going to see some 88s at some point here. 75s. 88s, there we go. Sort of limbered, I guess. And then some Valentines for the Brits. Here's the 88s if I didn't show that properly. Fifth, 50mm and 75mm anti-tank. 6-pounders. Little 2-pounders. Wow. So those are all big 1-inch counters. And now we're getting into the infantry, which is the infantry is not as important in this game as I understand it. And these are more like, well, they look a little bigger than, maybe they're 9/16, I would guess. They look a little bigger than 1/2-inch counters, but not as big as 5/8. So I had to make them, to my eyes, 9/16. and they all look pretty generic. There's not a ton of different squad types or capabilities. I'm sure this isn't a infantry focused game. This isn't ASL by any means. Here's a sheet of markers. Who knows what those numerical markers are? No idea, but we got some dust, we got some button up, knocked out, fire and move counters. Some turret counters. Those are all British looking. Who knows? I guess that's all there is. So that's another 3 sheets of markers. Now we have some player aids. How to read a vehicle data card, because there's going to be a big stack of vehicle data cards in the bottom, I think. And how to read a leg data card. There we go. How to read a towed data card. Turn track. Transport and summary track and hidden unit track. Aircraft and artillery. How to read aircraft and artillery data cards, and another turn track, etc. And then a player aid card. We got terrain effects, spotting, sequence of play. On this side we've got combat results, AP hit and AP hit modifiers. That's going to be armor piercing, I'm sure. And there's a second this is going to be exactly the same for the other player. And then we get to partly why this box is so big and heavy. For every vehicle in the game, I'm sure there is one of these vehicle data cards, or not just vehicle. I mean, here we have a 50mm pack gun. Here's one for a vehicle. There's the M1340. So it has the ammo type. I'm sure it's going to have how much damage it has. It's going to have armor, the defensive information, stuff like that. So this looks like the Italian stack here. And here's some Brits. There's a 2-pounder. Oh, here's a couple of Brits, but then we got some Germans. Here's the 4F1. Here's the Martyr. You see specialty ammo here too. APCR, that's armor piercing composite rigid, I think is what that is. And we might see some specialty ammo for the Brits as well. Who knows? Let's have a look here. There's a few more British types. Here's a Crusader 2. Oh, here's this for a squad. Here's for Matilda. A little scout car. So yeah, and these are on heavy stock. These are like, this isn't just cardboard. These are thick like a counter. So they're I guess they're meant to be used quite a bit. And then finally we have a few 10-siders and a bunch of baggies. Well, that, I mean, the most surprising thing in this box had to be six different booklets of rules and whatnot. Basic and advanced rules, scenario book 1 and 2, playbook, optional rules, and TO&E manual, which is I'm sure that's got to be for people who are really interested in designing their own and kind of getting it historically correct. Well, so there you go. That is one huge big box of stuff. Panzer North Africa from GMT Games. I know a lot of folks have been waiting for this, so check your mailbox. It might be on your doorstep anytime. Thanks again for watching. I'm Grant Lindenberg for Pushing Cardboard, and we'll catch you next time.